Rise, warrior. Picture, waking tomorrow with ironclad control over every word, emotion, dollar, and thought in your mind. Sounds impossible, right? Yet, over 2,000 years ago, a man believed this wasn't just possible. He declared it the only path to true freedom. His name was Epictetus, born a slave. Imagine that. No control over his body, no freedom to move, no voice in his fate. He was owned. Yet, this man uncovered a power so profound it transformed him from a chained slave into a titan of mental and emotional liberty, teaching that no one can harm you unless you allow it. This truth cuts deep, especially for men enduring real pain. Epictetus meant that while you can't dictate what happens, you command how you respond. In that choice lies your ultimate strength. Today, most of us aren't physically bound, but we're shackled by reckless words, wild emotions, reckless spending, and runaway thoughts. We blurt out words we regret. We let moods ruin entire days. We spend impulsively on things we don't need. We allow our minds to spiral into fear, doubt, and worry. But what if the wisdom that freed a Roman slave could free you? What if the things you feel least in control of your words, moods, money, and thoughts could become your greatest strengths? The ancient Stoics knew something we've forgotten. True wealth isn't counted in gold, it's measured in self-mastery. Real power isn't dominating others, it's ruling yourself. And genuine freedom isn't having endless choices, it's choosing rightly every single day. Life hands you chances to forge this discipline. When someone cuts you off in traffic, that's your moment to master your words and mood. When you're tempted to buy what you don't need, that's your chance to command your wealth. When your mind churns with fear or doubt, that's your opportunity to seize control of your thoughts. The brilliance of Stoicism is that it doesn't demand perfection. Even Marcus Aurelius, Rome's mightiest emperor, wrestled with these challenges. In his private journals, he wrote daily, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Grasp this, and you'll find strength." This isn't about becoming cold or unfeeling, it's about becoming unshakable. Sunuister chaos can break you. When you master your words, you speak with purpose, not instinct. When you control your mood, you choose your emotional state instead of being its victim. When you manage your money, it becomes a tool for peace, not a source of stress. And when you master your mind, you steer your thoughts, not languish as their prisoner. In the next few minutes, you'll uncover the 4 pillars of personal power. We'll dive into ancient wisdom that's more vital now than ever, arming you with practical tools to take charge. But you must commit. Each segment builds on the last. Don't skip a step. Walk this path with me, and I promise it will transform your life. If you're ready to claim your power, hit like, comment below which of the 4 pillars words, mood, money, or mind you struggle with most. Subscribe, because this journey to self-mastery is just beginning. Share this with someone who needs it, because true power starts with you. And leave a comment. I am the master of my words, my mood, my money, and my mind. First, mastering words, the gateway to wisdom. An old saying warns, the tongue is small but wreaks havoc. Yet, most men don't see this. Your words don't just harm others, They shape who you're becoming. Seneca, a towering Stoic philosopher, spent years observing the power of words in Rome's Senate. He saw careers built or broken by a single sentence. He witnessed friendships shattered by careless talk and alliances forged through deliberate speech. But his deepest lesson came from within himself. Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from the end of another. This is truest with your words. Every time you speak, you close one chapter of yourself and open another. The question is, are you forging a man you respect? Recall the last time you snapped in anger and regretted it instantly. That moment revealed the power of uncontrolled words slipping out before wisdom could intervene. Now, imagine reclaiming that power. What if every word you spoke was chosen deliberately, not blurted impulsively? The Stoics developed a simple yet profound method, the pause before speaking, especially when emotions surge. They paused and asked 3 questions. Is this true? Is it helpful? Is it kind? If any answer was no, they held their tongue. But mastering words isn't just about silencing negativity, it's about wielding positive speech with purpose. When you offer sincere praise, you not only brighten someone's day, but train yourself to see the good in life. When you speak words of encouragement, you program your mind to seek opportunities, not obstacles. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be like the cliff against which the waves crash endlessly. It stands firm, and the waters around it grow calm." Your controlled words can be that cliff for others. In a world of reckless chatter, your steady voice becomes a beacon of strength and peace. Here's a method to transform your relationships in the next 7 days. Before speaking in tense moments, take 3 deep breaths. First, ask what you're feeling. Second, consider the other person's emotions. Third, choose words that serve everyone best. The power of mastering words creates a ripple effect. When you speak with intention, others listen more, trust deeper, and seek your counsel. This isn't manipulation, it's the natural result of becoming a man worth hearing. But the greatest strength of mastering words lies in how it shapes your relationship with yourself. Every time you keep a promise through your words, you build trust in yourself. Every time you speak kindly about yourself, you reshape your self-image. Every time you refuse to gossip or complain, you focus your mental energy on what you can control. Your words don't just convey thoughts, they forge them. When you consistently speak of possibility, gratitude, and wisdom, your mind naturally aligns with those patterns. You become what you repeatedly say. The mouth is the bridge between your inner and outer worlds. Master this bridge, and you command the flow of energy both ways. Tomorrow, we'll explore how this principle shapes your inner emotional world. Declare this: daily, I speak with power, not fleeting emotion. Imagine waking each morning with someone else dictating the weather inside your mind. Some days, they unleash a storm of anger. Others, a fog of sadness. And occasionally, if you're lucky, radiant happiness. Most men live their emotional lives this way, swayed entirely by external circumstances. But here's the truth that changed everything for me, and what the Stoics discovered over 2,000 years ago. You are not a victim of your emotions, you create them. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychologist, endured years in Nazi camps. In the darkest conditions, he uncovered a Stoic truth: between stimulus and response lies a gap. In that gap, you hold the power to choose your reaction. In that choice lies your growth and freedom. Reflect on that gap now. As you hear these words, it exists within you between every trigger and your emotional response. In that fleeting moment, you have total authority to choose. The Stoics called this the discipline of desire. It's not about suppressing wants, but cherishing what you have, accepting what you can't change, and relentlessly working on what you can. Master this, and your mood becomes a finely tuned instrument you play, not a wild storm that controls you. Here's a truth that might stun you. Emotions aren't facts, they're interpretations. When someone doesn't reply to your text, the situation is neutral. Your mind spins a tale they're ignoring you, angry or indifferent. But what if you told a different story? Maybe they're busy, their phone died, or they're planning something special for you. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Each morning, he reminded himself the day would bring challenges, difficult people, and surprises. Instead of dreading them, he saw opportunities to forge emotional mastery. Try this now. Think of something that recently upset you. Ask, what story am I telling about this then? What's another way to see it? Finally, which view serves me best? The magic happens when you realize you've always been the author of your emotional experience. You just didn't know you were writing the story. Mastering your mood isn't about fake positivity or pretending everything's fine. It's about choosing responses that empower you, not drain you. When anger rises, instead of suppressing or exploding, channel it into positive change. When sadness hits, let it connect you to compassion for others, not drown you. The Stoics had a brilliant practice called the evening reflection. Each night, they reviewed their day, asking, what emotions did I feel today, which served me, which controlled me? How can I respond better tomorrow? As you practice mastering emotions, something shifts. You stop fearing your emotions because you know you can steer them. You don't shy away from tough situations because you trust your ability to handle your feelings. You become a pillar of calm in others' storms, making you invaluable in relationships and work. Every emotion you feel is data, not a command. Anger signals something matters to you. Fear prompts caution. Sadness reveals what you've lost. But no emotion gets to dictate your actions. Your mood is your inner weather, and like a skilled meteorologist, you can learn to predict, prepare, and shape it. Comment below if you're ready to command your emotional world. I control my emotions, they don't control me. Next, mastering money, the tool of freedom. Money isn't just currency, it's crystallized energy, time, and choice. How you manage money determines whether you live free or enslaved to your own desires. Seneca, one of Rome's wealthiest men, wrote, "The poor man isn't he who has too little, but he who craves too much." This wasn't just philosophy for him, it was a way of life. Despite his riches, Seneca practiced deliberate austerity, sleeping on the floor, eating simple meals to remind himself happiness doesn't hinge on luxury. Here's a harsh truth most avoid. If you can't control your spending, you don't control your life. Every purchase is a step toward freedom or a slide back into chains. There's no middle ground. Yet, mastering money isn't about stinginess or denying joy. It's about aligning spending with your values and using money as a tool, not letting it rule you. When you shop out of boredom, loneliness, or to impress, money controls you. When you spend on things that truly enhance your life or serve others, you're the one in charge. The Stoics had a concept called preferred indifference, things nice to have, but not defining your worth or happiness. Money falls in this category. It's better to have, but it must never become your master. Think of the last impulse buy you made that item gathering dust at home. What were you really chasing? The thing itself, or a feeling? Status, comfort, excitement, or approval? Here's a method to revolutionize your relationship with money. Before buying anything non-essential, pause and ask, what am I truly seeking? If it's an emotion or experience, find a way to get it without spending first. Often, you'll realize you don't need to buy anything at all. But mastering money goes beyond controlling spending. It's about creating value. The Stoics believed in contributing to the common good. When you focus on serving others through your work, money becomes a natural byproduct, not the sole aim. This shift in perspective transforms how you earn and spend. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you rise reluctantly in the morning, remember, you're waking for the work of a man. See your work as service, not just a paycheck, and you'll approach it with excellence. That commitment inevitably yields greater financial rewards." Here's what reshaped my financial life. I tracked not just where my money went, but how I felt after spending. I made 3 columns: what I bought, why I bought it, and how it felt afterward. What I discovered shocked me. Purchases tied to my values, books to expand my mind, time with loved ones, tools to serve others brought lasting satisfaction. Impulse buys for status or fleeting emotions left me empty or regretful. This simple habit clarified my spending in ways no budgeting app could. Mastering money means knowing the difference between assets and liabilities. Every dollar you spend should sustain or boost your ability to earn and serve others. When you think this way, you naturally build wealth instead of just spending it. The goal isn't to hoard money, but to gain enough freedom to be generous, take calculated risks, and make choices based on what's right, not what you can afford. Your mind is a garden. Every thought you nurture is a seed you plant. What harvest do you want right now? As you listen, thousands of thoughts vie for your attention: anxieties about tomorrow, regrets from yesterday, judgments about these words, plans for today. Most men live their lives as passive observers in this mental chaos, unaware they can choose which thoughts deserve their energy. Epictetus taught that true wealth lies not in owning many things, but in having few desires. He wasn't just talking about material wealth. He meant richness of the soul. When you stop entertaining every thought that knocks, you become immensely wealthy in peace and focus. Consider this. You wouldn't let a stranger barge into your home and wreck it. Yet you allow random thoughts to invade your mind and disrupt your emotional state. A single negative thought can ruin your day if you let it linger. The Stoics developed a practice called prosophe, relentless attention to the present moment and strict vigilance over your thoughts. This isn't meditation as we know it today. It's like being a sentinel of your mind, deciding which thoughts gain entry and which are turned away. Here's an exercise to transform your life instantly. Over the next week, when you catch yourself spiraling into negative thoughts, pause and ask, does this thought help or harm me? Does it move me closer to the man I want to be or pull me away? If it doesn't serve, replace it with a constructive one. Mastering your mind isn't about forced positivity or ignoring problems. It's about choosing thoughts that build rather than destroy. Instead of thinking, "This is awful," and "I'm helpless," try, "This is a challenge. How can I tackle it best?" Same situation. Entirely different mental experience. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." He knew he couldn't control Rome's enemies, political schemes, or even his own death. But he held supreme command over the kingdom of his mind. Your mind constantly spins stories about what things mean. Someone doesn't smile at you, and it crafts a tale of rejection, traffic jams, and it assumes you'll be late, and everything will unravel. Your boss calls you in, and it imagines trouble. But here's your power. You can rewrite those stories right now. The unsmiling person might be wrestling with their own struggles. Traffic is a chance to practice patience or learn something new. The boss's meeting could bring good news. The Stoics called this the discipline of assent, distinguishing facts from the stories you tell about them. The fact is, it's raining. The story is, this rain ruins my day. When you master this distinction, you become unstoppable, because your emotional state no longer hinges on external events. Try this now. Think of something stressing you out. Separate the facts from the story you're telling about them. You'll be amazed. Most stress comes from the story, not the facts. Your mind is a powerful problem solver when guided correctly. Instead of letting it run wild with worry, give it specific problems to tackle. Instead of asking, "What if everything goes wrong?" ask, "What's the best way to handle this?" Your mind craves challenges, but needs your clear direction. Remember, every thought you entertain builds or breaks the man you're becoming. You're shaping yourself every second. Declare this: "I am the architect of my mind." Something extraordinary happens when you start mastering these 4 domains. They don't just change individually, they create a ripple effect, transforming your entire life. Like tuning a guitar. When one string is perfected, the others resonate more beautifully. When you master your words, men seek your counsel because your speech carries weight and wisdom. When you master your mood, you become a rock others lean on in chaos. When you master money, you gain freedom to decide based on values, not survival. When you master your mind, you see opportunities where others see only obstacles. But the real magic lies in the space between these 4 pillars. Let me tell you about Sarah, a single mother who attended my workshop last year. She arrived overwhelmed, drowning in debt, snapping at her kids, consumed by anxiety about the future, and trapped in negative thoughts that kept her awake at night. 6 months later, Sarah sent me a message that brought tears to my eyes. By embracing these principles, she cleared her credit card debt and launched a small side business. Her bond with her kids transformed as she learned to speak with love, not frustration. Most importantly, she said she felt like herself again, calm, confident, and in command of her life. The beauty of Stoicism is its upward spiral. Each small victory in one area fuels confidence to tackle challenges in another. When you hold your tongue in anger, you prove you can master your emotions. When you resist an emotional purchase, you strengthen the mental muscle that wards off negative thoughts. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence is not an act, but a habit. The Stoics went further. They knew mastery in these 4 areas creates a compounding effect. Each day of practice doesn't just improve that day, it makes every day after easier. Think of the man you were 6 months ago. What did you struggle with? Now imagine the man you'll become in 6 months if you consistently apply these principles. The gap between who you are and who you could be isn't as wide as you think. It's just a series of small daily choices. You don't need to perfect all 4 areas at once. Trying to do so often leads to frustration and giving up. Instead, pick the one that resonates most right now and focus on it for the next 30 days. Mastery in that area will ripple into the others. The Stoics believed in sympathia, the deep interconnectedness of all things. Your inner work doesn't just benefit you, it uplifts everyone around you. Better words reduce tension in relationships. Controlled emotions create a peaceful home. Wise spending sets an example of financial responsibility for your kids. When you steer your thoughts toward positivity, you become a source of solutions, not problems. But the deepest impact is how mastery reshapes your relationship with hardship. Instead of seeing challenges as things that happen to you, you view them as training grounds for strength. Every tough conversation is a chance to practice word control. Every stressful moment is an opportunity to master your mood. Every financial decision is a test of money wisdom. Every worry is a moment to redirect your mental energy. Shifting from victim to practitioner changes how you experience life. Comment below if you're ready to turn every challenge into strength. Every challenge is my chance to grow stronger. We began with Epictetus, who rose from physical slavery to a teacher of spiritual freedom. His secret wasn't changing his circumstances, it was mastering himself within them. Today, you face the same choice he did over 2,000 years ago. You know, true freedom isn't having endless options, it's consistently choosing the right ones. You see that your words, mood, money, and mind aren't separate parts of life. They're interconnected pillars that either support or hinder your growth. What I want you to hold on to most is that this journey isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming intentional. Every time you pause before speaking, you train word control. Every time you choose how to respond to a tough emotion, you build emotional mastery. Every time you align your spending with your values, you grow in financial wisdom. Every time you redirect a negative thought, you strengthen mental command. The ancient Stoics faced wars, plagues, political upheaval, and personal tragedies. Their lives weren't easy, but they had something more valuable. They had an unshakable inner strength born from mastering these 4 domains. That strength awaits you. Your transformation starts with one simple choice: to take responsibility for your inner world. Not because life is fair, it isn't. Not because it's easy, it won't be, but because you deserve to live as the master of your own experience, not a victim of circumstance. 6 months from now, you could be the same man, with the same struggles. Or you could be a man who's learned to live with wisdom, resolve, and inner power. The choice is yours, and the time to decide is now. Remember Epictetus, no one can harm you unless you allow it. Today, you revoke that permission. Today, you begin the journey from reckless reaction to deliberate response, from chaos to control, from slavery to freedom. The 4 pillars of mastery are waiting. The man you're meant to become is counting on you, somewhere in the eternal realm of ideas. The ancient Stoics are cheering you on. Take the first step. Start today. Start now. If this message resonates, hit like. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave your commitment in the comments and subscribe for more life-changing wisdom. The journey to mastery begins here. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. Today, I choose mastery over mediocrity, intention over reaction, and freedom over bondage to circumstance.